In this tutorial, you will learn how to loop through lists using enumerate function. Unlike looping directly or using a range function, this enumerate gives you both the index and the value at the same time, making your code more cleaner. So enumerate is a built-in Python function that adds a counter, that is an index, to an iterable list, tuple, or string. It returns a pair. That means that pair includes index as well as the value for each element. So the syntax is enumerate, iterable, and from where you want to start that. So iterable is the list or sequence you want to loop through, and the start parameter is the starting index. Default, of course, it is 0. So basically it avoids manually tracking indexes and it improves readability. We will see a basic example of this enumerate function and we will compare it with range function. So as usual, we are having a list of fruits that is having apple, banana, and cherry. And if you want to print the entire thing using range, what you will do for f in range length of fruits, and then we will print fruits of f. Then you will get all the list in that. But here you want to use range function as well as the length of fruits function. You want to check the length of the list every time. So the greatest advantage of enumerate function is that you don't need to check the list or check the index manually. Instead of that, you can simply write enumerate and you will get the result. The same problem we will do it with enumerate function. Here the greatest advantage is not only you are going to get the index, we are going to get the value also. Here also you can get the index as well as the value. You can get the index like this, fruits, got the index as well as the value. The for loop is very simple. For index value in enumerate fruits. That's it. Print index as well as the value. You got the same result. You don't need to check the length. So another advantage of this enumerate function is that here you can see when I use range, the problem is here the range, the index is default. The default index starts from 0 and it will go adding 1 plus to that. So here in enumerate, you can start the index yourself. That means here, of course, the index default will be 0, but you can change it to 1 or you can change it to 5 or you can change it to 10 yourself. So we will see an example of that. So you, of course, you are having a list of fruits and we are going to write for index as well as value in enumerate fruits. And we will give the second parameter as start equals to 2 or start equals to 1. You can print index as well as the value. You can see here we have given the start index as 2. So the index of apple became 2, and then for banana it is 3, and then it is getting increased by that. So here that is one greatest advantage, that making index user friendly. It is like counting from 1 instead of 0 or counting 2 instead of 0. So you can use another simple example. We are having a list of some numeric numbers and we will find a first match of even numbers. So you can write it as like for index and num in enumerate numbers, and we will check here whether the number is even or odd. So for even means, okay, if it is divided by 2, the remainder should be 0. So we are going to get the first even number. So if num percentage of 2, that is going to get the remainder equals to 0. So you can write it as print first symbol by 2 found at index, and you can just write the index of that. And if you want, you can give the number also. The next thing you need to do is you need to give a break. Otherwise, it will loop through all the numbers. Now, I think the index 1 itself, index 0 itself, the first number itself, it will stop. And you see the first divisible by 2 found at index 0, that is 4. So you can change this to divisible by 2 found at index. And if you take this break, you will see all the even numbers and their indexes. You can see divisible by 2 found at index 0, 3, 5. So you can modify the list also using enumerate function. All these are same thing which we use for range also, but with enumerate it will be more easy. You have a list of prices, you want to give a discount to all the prices. So we will write the enumerate function as for I is the index, and we are going to give P as price in enumerate prices, and we will modify this list. We will give it as prices, P prices of I is the index equals to P is the value which you are going to get. P into 0.9 means around 10% of discount. And finally, we will print the list. We can show discounted prices. So you got the discounted prices. You got the original price as well as the discounted price. And we can see a small real world example with using zip function also, where we are having two lists. So first list is student name and the second list is the student marks. So we will show the student name as well as their respective marks using this enumerate, and to join the student name and its respective marks, we will use the zip function also. So you can write it as for I. Instead of student, we will give the variable name, as well as for marks, we will give the variable score. Score in enumerate. Here we will zip the student and marks list. So zip students as well as marks, and we will give the first index as 1. So nobody is going to get an index 0 in the real world. So we will give it as 1. So start equals to 1, and we will clear it and we will print it respectively. Print, we will use a function print and the quotes and student, and we will give 1, that is the index, that means I, and a colon, and we will give the name of the student. Name is this name you have to give. So we have given the index I here, and we will give the name as well as the score. So we will give name and we will hard code scored, and we will give the score, and that means this mark score. And of course we will close the codes and we will close the print also, and we will enter it. And you can see student 1, this 1 is the index. Since the index we gave us starting as 1, it is showing student 1, and student name you are getting scored 85, that is a mark. And this mark as well as the student, we have zipped it, and because of that name as well, the marks is coming properly respectively. So the with range also you can use, but for range you need to write the range function, and then we have to go for length of range, because we need to give an index for the range. So here you don't need to give an index for enumerate manually, it will automatically take. If you want to change the index, you need to give a start parameter for that. Hope this was a valuable one. Have a nice day.